All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a truly incredible world. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the fundamental laws that make the Dreamweaver universe tick, from how it all began to the very fabric of time and fate.
And right off the bat, you get a sense of the scale we're dealing with. This isn't just about having cool powers. The stakes are, well, they're cosmic. Every single action has the potential to literally tear reality apart. In this universe, understanding the rules isn't just for fun, it's about survival.
So, to get a handle on that kind of power, you can't just jump into the flashy stuff. You have to go all the way back to the beginning. So, forget everything you think you know about physics, because we're starting from absolute zero, with the primordial elements that built everything.
Okay, check out this sequence, because the order here is everything. First, before time even exists, there's immaterial light, pure order and structure. Then comes water, this huge, formless cosmic ocean. After that, material light appears, which makes vision possible. Then wind blows through, separating things and creating space for Earth to form. And only then, born together with the first stars, do we get fire and time. This exact order is the bedrock of this reality.
Now that we've got that foundation, we can start asking the really big questions. Like gravity. How does it actually work here? Forget what you learned in physics class, because the answer in this world is way more intuitive. And it all starts with a pretty clever analogy.
That's it. A water balloon. Just imagine the water inside is all of empty space, and the rubber skin of the balloon is the literal edge of the universe. This one simple image is the key to understanding just about everything. So think about it. When you drop something solid, like a star or a planet, into this water balloon, what happens? It pushes the water out of the way and stretches the balloon's skin. Well, that's gravity. It's not a pull from the inside, it's the inward push from the outside, from that stretched skin as the universe tries to squeeze itself back into its original shape. And this is where it gets really cool. Every object with mass is basically a little bundle of potential energy. The bigger it is, the more energy it packs, and the more water it displaces in space. Those ripples it creates in the fabric of the universe, those are gravitational waves. Which means gravity isn't just some fixed, constant law. It's a force that can actually be generated, and even manipulated. Which brings us straight to Mitsuki. You see, her natural power is tied to the moon's gravity, and that's a problem. Its strength changes with the phases of the moon, which leaves her incredibly vulnerable during a new moon. So the whole goal of her training is to learn to sync up with something way more powerful and way more stable, the sun's gravity. If she can do that, that critical weakness is gone.
So we have these huge cosmic forces, but how do they boil down to an individual's power? Well, let's take a look at the Kirisawa family. Their affinity is for flame. But we're not just talking about throwing fireballs. Their power is called the catalyst flame. It represents fortitude, and it's all about fueling transition and forcing change. It's about imposing their will on the element.
And here's a perfect example of how that transition works. The catalyst flame gives them mastery over heat itself. By literally pulling heat out of water, they can freeze it solid. By pumping heat into it, they can turn it into vapor. You see? It's not about destruction, it's about control and transformation.
That idea of control and prediction isn't just for elements either. It is absolutely crucial in combat. There's an old archer saying that just nails it. To every action, there is a preparatory action as well as a likely result. In this universe, that means every attack has a tell, and victory comes from knowing how to read it.
The whole system is built on this key concept, the trigger event. It's the small thing that happens before the big thing. You know, like how the wind picking up is a trigger for a storm? In a fight, it's that tiny, subtle shift in an opponent's stance or focus that telegraphs their next move before they even make it. And this guide basically turns that theory into a practical playbook. You see your opponent crouch down, focusing energy into their toes? That's the trigger for a forward charge. The counter? You sidestep and sweep their leg. They shift into that half-circle stance, that's telegraphing a horizontal kick. So you leap back to dodge, then immediately step in to break their stance. If you master this, you're never just reacting. You're always one step ahead. Okay, so we've covered physics and fighting, but how does this all scale up? How do these intricate rules connect to the ultimate fate of the world, to the grand struggle? Well, the answer is hidden in the mechanics of time itself. You see, time isn't just a single straight line. It's governed by 3 different kinds of clocks, all interconnected. You have the small clocks, which just track one 24-hour day. Then there are the medium clocks, which you can think of as the internal clock of your own soul, tracking your lifespan. And then there are the great clocks. These are the ones that decide the very destiny of history.
And get this, there are two great clocks, each pointing toward a different future. The golden clock moves clockwise, and it's pushed forward by days filled with virtue and kindness, leading history towards peace. But the dark clock moves counterclockwise. It's fueled by malice and harm, and it's dragging the world toward calamity. It makes every single day a battleground in a cosmic race.
So what decides if a day is golden or dark? Well, every day has a predominant trigger theme. Think of it like a core question that humanity has to collectively answer. Our individual choices and actions become the serial plots. We are the actors playing out these events. And behind it all are the directors, the cosmic forces of good and evil, trying to influence the outcome.
But we aren't just isolated actors here. This concept, the degree of influence, is the social glue holding this entire system together. It's the ability each one of us has to affect the choices of another person. A kind word, a cruel act, it doesn't just end with you, it ripples outward. And that's the ultimate takeaway. Your personal choices, the way you influence others, it all adds up. It determines whether a day's small clock turns golden or dark. And the sum of all those days is what literally pushes the hands on the great clock of history, steering the entire world toward either peace or calamity.
It's an incredible system, connecting the smallest personal decision to the grandest cosmic destiny. It leaves us with a really powerful final thought. In a universe where every single action has a direct, measurable impact on the future, what is the real weight of every choice you make?